So on this show over the past few weeks, and mostly during this segment, we've documented the desperate effort to smear Justice Samuel Alito. Of course, the media has been doing this to Clarence Thomas for decades, since his confirmation hearing. We know what happened to Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett. Gorsuch will get his turn next, we can assume, but for now, Alito is up at bat. But the media's anti-Alito campaign has run into a significant roadblock. They want to find a scandal that they can blow up and try to turn into a major national crisis. The problem is that apparently Samuel Alito is the most normal, straight-edge, boringly honest and upright figure, maybe in the history of American public life. That's the only conclusion that we can draw, because the entire media apparatus has been digging frantically through this man's life and past to find something, anything problematic. And so far, they have come up empty. Like so empty, in fact, that they've been forced to make a scandal out of two banal, utterly trifling incidents involving flags hanging outside of the Alito residency. So it would seem that the edgiest, most provocative thing that Alito has ever done is fly an upside-down flag outside of his home one time. Something that apparently he didn't even actually do. His wife did. So the fact that they have to use the flag stuff as somehow evidence of his corruption just goes to show how squeaky clean, and for the media, I think disappointingly non-corrupt this guy really is. But they haven't stopped. Flaggate didn't really land with the general public. Flaggate, the sequel, they tried to do it again. Flaggate Reloaded, that didn't land either. Now they've moved on to the next fake Alito scandal, and as you'll see, it is the fakest one yet. Yesterday, Rolling Stone first published in a lengthy and breathless article, secretly recorded by someone. They have secretly recorded comments made by Alito at a recent dinner. A left-wing activist named Lauren Windsor attended the Supreme Court Historical Society's annual dinner on June 3rd, posing apparently as a conservative. And she struck up a conversation with Alito, asked him a lot of very leading questions, trying to get him to say something, anything incriminating, or at least vaguely controversial. The secret recording of this exchange has been, as you would expect, trumpeted as definitive proof that Alito is a dangerous right-wing radical. Headlines have called the recording shocking. There have been renewed calls for Alito's impeachment. Now, the only problem, which is not a problem as far as the media is concerned, is that it's all once again nonsense. Justice Alito, even in what he believed to be a private conversation with an ideological ally, still proves to be frustratingly professional, polite, and composed, much to the chagrin of the activist who went through all that trouble to record him. This man still absolutely refused to give so much as, not even one spicy take about anything. That hasn't stopped her or the media from pretending that Alito has been somehow exposed, but there's only so much you can do to dress this up as a scandal. And I'll show you what I mean. The left-wing rag, The New Republic, tried its best, though. Here's their headline. Samuel Alito caught on tape revealing his true guiding force. Well, that sounds pretty ominous. Caught on tape, reveals his true guiding force. What could that mean? What is his guiding force? The mind conjures all sorts of nightmarish possibilities. Well, let's read on. Quoting from the article. A secret tape has exposed some of Justice Samuel Alito's privately held beliefs, including endorsing a fight to return our country to a place of godliness, with the stark understanding that one side or the other is going to win. Now, I'm going to pause there for a moment, and I'll read a little bit more of the article, but you should know that that's it. That's all she could get this guy to say. One side or the other is going to win, and the country should return to godliness. On a secret tape being surreptitiously recorded, speaking to someone that he thought was a friend, and those two statements are the most provocative things he could be induced to say. And now the poor media has to pretend that the two blandest, least controversial statements ever made by anyone ever in history are somehow earth-shattering. Reading on, quote, Alito's comments were recorded by advocacy journalist Lauren Windsor during the Supreme Court Historical Society's annual dinner on June 3rd, an opportunity leveraged by many right-wing activists to cozy up to members of the nation's highest judiciary. A copy of the tape, which documented the incredible candor with which Alito forewent any illusion of neutrality, was provided to Rolling Stone. Leading Alito on, the liberal documentarian is heard approaching the justice about a disbelief that American polarization can come to an end by way of negotiating with the political left. Instead, Windsor posits that it's more a matter of conservatives winning. Quote, "I think you're probably right," Alito replies. "On one side or the other is going to win. I don't know. I mean, there can be a way of working, a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult, because there are differences on fundamental things that really can't be compromised. They really can't be compromised. So it's not like you're going to split the difference." Alito then agreed with Windsor's assessment that the country needed to return to a, quote, "place of godliness." That's it. That's the end. It turns out that Alito didn't even say that the country needed to return to godliness. The woman said it, and he agreed. So breaking news, Samuel Alito is not an atheist. The scandal here apparently is that Samuel Alito did not confess to being a secret atheist. Like, what was he supposed to say? When someone says, "Oh, the country needs to return to a place of godliness," you want him to say, "No, it shouldn't"? You want him as a Christian to say, "No, I don't. I think godlessness is better"? It's evidently the position of the media that Supreme Court justices are required to be atheists, but Alito is not. In fact, Alito, in a truly horrifying turn of events, apparently has the same view as the Founding Fathers, because they also believe that America should be rooted in godliness. That was the headline of the Declaration of Independence, you may recall. It's written on our money. It's in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's our official national motto. So Samuel Alito agrees with our national motto. That's what they're trying to make a scandal out of. But it's not just that. We can't forget. Alito also said that the two ideological sides in America might be able to live and work together peacefully, but their views are fundamentally incompatible, and therefore they won't be able to reach a satisfying compromise. He didn't even take a side, which, by the way, he could have. Supreme Court justices are allowed to have opinions. They're not required to be mindless automatons. It wouldn't even be a scandal if he actually gave his political opinion in what he thought was a private conversation off the clock. He's allowed to do that. But he didn't even do that. Instead, he just made a very basic, obviously correct observation about the state of political discourse in America. It's also an observation often made by people on both sides of the spectrum. Breaking news, Samuel Alito says a thing that everyone on all sides agrees with. Indeed, Alito is so scandal-free that at this point, I'm getting annoyed by it. Part of me wishes the guy would actually do or say something problematic just so that this whole story would be more interesting to talk about. But that doesn't appear likely to happen. Instead, we're doomed to this endless news cycle where the real headline every time is that Samuel Alito is an upright and honest guy. Which, of course, in the end is the whole reason the left hates him. And it's why the anti-Alito campaign is, once again, and more than ever, canceled. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.